and welcome back to episode 23 of the Football Fanatic podcast. Declan O'Connor is your host. Howard Dan, as always. Man, how are you getting on?
Good, Deck.
Good, Deck.
How are you? Good weekend?
Bad? Yeah, not a bad weekend. Unlucky for St. Bridget's. They kind of lost in the most horrible circumstances in the last 2 minutes. They conceded a goal, and then the rest was it was a tough watch because I thought they had it.
Yeah.
But
tough one to lose like that.
They did what,
like,
and
leading all the way. But look, they're a very young team, and they'll come good again, hopefully. And they did the parish proud, as I say.
Absolutely, yeah. What do you call it? 2 good wins for Arsenal and Liverpool, men. You feeling confident now?
I'd say Dan is anyway.
Proper title race on.
That was the big one. That was the big one, wasn't it? Bournemouth, Dan. You were worried about that one.
Yeah, I did. It's Bournemouth. They're supposed to be in a decent enough form going into it, and we're missing 2 players. But we were very good.
Start with you were very good. We'll start with the Liverpool game. Actually, there was a lot of kind of worry coming into it that Salah getting injured over the African Cup of Nations, but 2 men stepped up in his place big time, and there were some serious finishes. Actually, especially from Jota. Dan, you were watching the game. You were pretty impressed with what you saw in the second half, I think, particularly.
Yeah, second half. I think first half, Liverpool kind of dominated a lot of the game, but just weren't able to kind of create a chance. But kind of one of them games where it looked like first goal would be key, and it really kind of shook Bournemouth. I think once we went 1-0 up, they couldn't string a pass together after that, really, and it was one-way traffic. And I thought we were really good. Started to kind of tweaked it at half time as well. He kind of was dropping deeper, was getting more on the ball, and I thought second half we were really, really good. McAllister actually as well, in particular, I was very impressed with, and Conor Bradley as well at right back. I think deserves a mention on his debut. He was exceptional, and to describe him was like watching a young Andy Robertson there. He's that same kind of just tenacious hunger, doesn't stop running, and he was it was a joy to watch him on the right as well. But yeah, really good results. I think considering Salah's out and we need goals coming from other areas. We've got Nunes there who chipped in, and Nunes gets an awful lot of abuse, but he's the first player, as you've probably seen the thing going around, he's the first player to get a combined goals and assist tally. So he is contributing, and if the goals start to come in, like his 2 goals that he got yesterday were good, and he played really well in the game. So very happy with the results. And thought Carragher afterwards was waxing lyrical about Jota. I thought he was maybe a small bit overboard. I don't know if you thought
that. The best finisher ever for Liverpool.
Yeah, and I a big Jota fan, but the bracket he was putting Jota in with other players. I think he might be he played with them players that he's talking about. But for me, I thought that was a bit over the top based on the game.
Sky Sports as well. They had an exclusive kind of article out today as well, kind of mentioning, is Jota at the level of Robbie Fowler and stuff? They had a full article on Robbie Fowler today.
Yeah, there's no doubt that if you look at our recruitment over the last number of years, Jota, for the money we got him for, he has been excellent when he's fit and when he's in the team, and even when he comes on as a sub. The great thing about Jota is when he starts or when he comes on as a sub, he impacts games. So he was excellent. And
what was the price, Dan? What was the price you got him?
Was he about 35? Was he? I think he wasn't that much. Yeah. I think he was 35 million, maybe.
I think it was even that. I think it was it 20
I think it was 25 actually. It was a 25 and then there was 5 million based on the add-ons or whatever like that. Yeah. So you're talking very, very small money. And one other thing as well, just when you look at the players like Kanate and Van Dijk, he's getting a really good tune out of both of them as well. They've been exceptional over the last couple of weeks. Since Kanate's come back into the team, he's looked fit and sharp and strong. And then Van Dijk is just Van Dijk. He looks, the 2 of them alongside each other look formidable partnership. Which that goes well, because earlier in the season, I would have mentioned the pod several times around, even though we have the best defence in the league, we give up an awful lot of chances and we don't look solid. But we have in the last couple of weeks just looked an awful lot more solid defensively. Gomez has done all right as well. He's come into the side, and I thought it was McAllister's best game for Liverpool. I thought yesterday as well. I thought he was really, really good. So look, big games coming up now. It'll tell a lot. There'll be a few big ones coming up in the next
next 2 games are in cup games. So you've the second leg against Fulham, and then you have Norwich in the cup next weekend, don't you?
Norwich in the cup then. Like, so again, you're kind of trying to get over these obstacles. There are too many injuries. I've only seen two things actually just on Curtis Jones. Yesterday he looked like he might have done his hamstring as well. He went off.
All right.
So he would be a blow because in the middle, Szoboszlai isn't back in training yet. Even though Trent, Simicast, and Robertson are due back in the next few days, they're due back training. So like they're great players to come back into the side, but midfield, you just kind of an area in the moment that you don't really want to be losing players. It looks like he could be out. And also, I don't know if you see this, I mentioned as well, the tackle Clivert on Jones. I don't know if you've seen that as well, but like,
yeah, it was a bad
complete joke. Like, it was a really bad tackle, and I think
on Diaz, is it Diaz?
It was on Diaz, on Diaz. But when you look at like say Jones's tackle earlier in the season against Spurs, there's loads of them kind of tackles. They're all going for reds. Probably the Gusto one that he should have got a red for that didn't was probably the most recent one in the same kind of caliber as that.
You know what saved him probably there in that one was it came from the side rather than head on. You know, it was still like obviously you can still break your leg in that direction as well, but I think you're more used to seeing that kind of impact from that side rather than from the shin on rather than perpendicular to the shin.
But anyway, all in all, it was a really good result, and we looked solid, and it's all about momentum. And I actually think the amount of games that we're having to play, we're having to rotate the squad, but it's keeping everyone sharp. Everyone that's kind of coming in is doing the job, and I'd expect hopefully go away to Fulham and get the job done and be into that final. And then I'd fancy us. We should be beating Norwich. I think it was a nice tie that we got actually with Norwich at home in the cup as well, which will probably make a good few changes. But like all in all,
I'd say brilliant result of the weekend. Fulham, you should absolutely have enough. Norwich, you should be getting by them. And then you have Chelsea on the 31st.
Won't be worried about them.
Well,
I won't be worried. I'm not worried. I'd be worried about going away to the Emirates, and I'd be worried about.
That's what I mean. I mean, you have like Chelsea 4 days before going away to the Emirates, and I mean Chelsea for all of their kind of up and down form this season. Chelsea is still Chelsea, and they still do come to Anfield they've won 4 on the bounce. So I mean,
but Chelsea are an ideal team for Liverpool to play because they come to Anfield and actually play, and they're an ideal side because they're not good enough defensively to hold out, and I don't actually think they're good enough in attack really to cause us too many problems. So I don't. For me, Chelsea wouldn't worry me. I know it's a midweek game, and it'll depend, I suppose, what our squad is at that stage as well. But if the Emirates is the next one, I'd be looking to without trying to sound cocky. It's the next one I'd be kind of concerned about going there. Considering the way it was in the cup, we won that game, but if Arsenal had taken half their chances, it could have been out of sight in the first half. So that one, and then the City one, I think you managed to get over the Arsenal game, and maybe get a draw or something away, get something positive from that game, or even if you were to got a defeat, but like we're well in the game, and I think then it's the City one for me because like looking at it and City, if you manage to do City at Anfield, it's a real confidence booster, and it might give you a small bit of a cushion as well, So.
No, I'm just kind of looking at it like likewise. Arsenal have Nottingham Forest next, and then Liverpool come to Arsenal.
With 10 days, Arsenal have 10 days rest there, like between Nottingham Forest. Yeah,
and I'm looking at it from a kind of City point of view, obviously, because I mean, if Arsenal go to Liverpool at that weekend, we have City have Burnley, and then we have I think it's Everton and Brentford, and
you have a nice run, I think.
We have a lovely run. Yeah. So I mean, just kind of coming to Arsenal, Howard again, like Liverpool, they were banging in the goals of the weekend. Martinelli got 2, Gabriel got 1. Trossard, and the Jesus Trossard link up was really, really good to watch. I thought.
Yeah. No, it was look, overall in the they got 2 set pieces to get them going, like, and I think they probably needed that to try and get back on the scoring. Like the last few weeks, they've had issues, like confidence issues for the goals. So I think in general they needed probably an early goal that wasn't a one-on-one with a keeper that you're going to blaze over the bar like that they've been doing. It was handy that they got it from a set piece. They've
had confidence issues about not performing, is it?
No, just in front of goal. Like I think they've had like confidence issues in front of goal, like your Odegaards and your Sakas and your Jesus and your Martinellis. They haven't been they haven't been finishing like clinically like they had last year. Like, so I think that's
So
been.
what was the difference at the weekend? Like, where did that 5-0 come out of? Do you think?
Well, like the whole thing was like they got the first 2 goals from 2 corners, like, you know, so it gave them straight away. Then the other team had to come out, like, so Palace had to come out, and they got them on the break then for the Trossard goal. Jesus could pass. Like, Trossard he's a bit like Jota. Kind of put them to kind of similarly, kind of stylistically, they're quite good in front of goal, and technically they're very good in tight spaces, like, you know what I mean. So he got the start instead of Martinelli, but like. Look, Marinelli, I think, is a class player if he can find the net, and he got 2 goals there to begin. So that'll hopefully now, you know, the next day out will drive him on to play, like, to finish, because like this season he's only had 2 goals before the weekend in the Premier League.
I suppose the way I'm kind of looking at, again, Arsenal and Liverpool. So Arsenal, like the Rice and Gabriel going off, like, any idea?
I don't think they're anything serious there. No, it was a tight hamstring for Rice apparently, and Gabriel just had a bang on his knee, so just took him off. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. So I'm not really like, and they had a break in Dubai there for a week, and now they've 10 days off, and I think they've 3 days like off the actual players do between now and or after the Palace game. So I know it's good to have games and rhythm and all that, but I think if you're able to have a break midway through the season like that, it might give the lads a bit of a boost going forward, like, because it's going, like, if you're in Champions League and you're in the Premier League, you're still going to have a good few games to play back to back, like, so hopefully further down the line that'll give them a bit of more energy, you know, near the end of the season. But look, I'm not too hopeful overall in the whole, like, the 2 games against West Ham and Fulham really kind of rattled me in regards to the predictions for the Premier League. Like, 5 points behind now. You know, it could be 2 against Liverpool then if you beat them, but like, you're still behind, and City then are ahead of Liverpool then. You know what I mean? So it's yeah.
Yeah, but you never know. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just when you actually look at it though, like I don't know, they're definitely obviously not at the level that they were last year. They are. You still think going to be in the round. I know they had a bad Christmas. It's just when you look at it, like the game of the weekend, they got to set pieces to get them going. Like 5-0 flattered them. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, I did 100%. Like, I thought the performance was poor enough, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought for a team that had a break, like I know Palace are poor, like they are. They're in a bad place, and late goals kind of for Martinelli's confidence, of course, is a great thing. But
no, I agree. I completely agree.
Just when you look at it, you're kind of like, right, like, look, he's not great. He's not right. He's not great. Goals.
Yeah.
You look at the left back Zinchenko. I think he's poor. I don't think he's that good. But Ben White is playing right back. He's not a right back. He's playing there. And then, like, you look at the midfield, their balance is wrong. Like, I don't think Havertz, Rice, and Odegaard works. I never thought it did. Yeah. And I'm not a fan of Havertz. So, as you said, I know Havertz several times. Maybe when Partey comes back in, that my balance might look better then. And, like, even looking at the game, like, the weekend and that as well, like, Jesus runs around. He's in and around. And I know he's good link up playing that as well. Yeah. But, like, in tight games, like, where to go? Like, who's going to step up and even like
and they're doubling up on Saka now. Like, no, look, I like the West Ham game now that they played in the lost 2-0. I thought they played better in the West Ham game than they did against you know, the Palace, because they had like 30 shots in that game and just didn't score. But I think the problem was, Dan, is that he had a team last year that perfectly fit. Every player was in the right position, and it worked for the system that they played. And Arteta wanted to do a different system this year, and it
goes long, doesn't he? It plays a lot.
Well, it was included because he knew there was going to be low block against him for the whole season, because they're marked men now. And the whole idea was they're having Timber, Rice, and Havertz and Partey would fit. And I think he had a completely different system in place, I think, in his head. And now it just doesn't work because your Timber and your Partey are gone, and your Xhaka is gone now. So I think the plan he originally had in place, I think he's going now with last year's tactics, but with the players that don't fit into the system, like you say. But I don't think that's actually the plan that he had in his head originally, because I think a few things have happened that you know, a few injuries have happened that have changed. Now you could say, like, you shouldn't be in that position, you know, that if your injuries are completely knock out your system like that. But I think that's probably part of it. I think Timber was a massive loss. I think he was going to be like your Zinchenko role, but way more defensively solid, and would fit into that midfield. And then I think the idea would Havertz would play as a second striker rather than in that 8 role. I think that was the plan, but it's kind of disintegrated since the start of the season, really.
Okay, so I suppose February 4th, Sunday, February 4th, Arsenal versus Liverpool. We'll do the predictions closer to the time, but right now, Howard, I'll go with you first. What do you think it'll be?
I think Arsenal will get a win, and I think they have to get a win.
Good lad.
And I think the fact I'll see what Trent's like, but I think the fact Salah is gone, will be a big blow for Liverpool. Like
Yeah.
it'll depend. It'll depend. Like Arsenal know, like they have to win the game, like, and and they're at home, so I think that will hopefully give them the impetus. Like if they lose that, it's gone. Like I think it's done. Like you know what I mean. So,
Okay.
Dan,
Dan,
probably more
same
pressure on
question
them.
to you.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Howard there. That I think it's more of a just given the kind of rocky form that Arsenal have been in as well. I think it's a bigger game for Arsenal than it is Liverpool. But I take a point now. To be honest with you, I still think when you look at the bare bones, that we will probably still be missing players. Arsenal will be near enough at full strength. Looking at it at this moment, you'd have to fancy that Arsenal, if they take some of them chances that they will create. Because in fairness, like the likes of Martinelli and Saka, like the Odegaard. against Liverpool in the cup, like they were flying, they were creating chances, they just couldn't put any of them away, but they create loads.
Yeah.
So, I think I would take a point now anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't think it's detrimental for Liverpool if they go to the Emirates and get beaten.
No.
Nor
still in
I think it's over. I think it's over for Arsenal if they lose. I don't think so either, though. I kind of don't know. I wouldn't be as sure.
Look, I'm thinking that way because of the form that City do in the second half of the season. Like I just think, I think for Liverpool to drop points as well is probably not ideal unless Liverpool go and beat City then in Anfield, which they're well capable of doing. But it's just the City train that everyone has the fear of, I suppose,
City have to go. Am I right in saying City have to go to Anfield and they have to go to Spurs, and they have a terrible record at Spurs, don't they? So they're two kind of big.
Terrible. They're definitely not going to.
Friday night, this coming Friday night in the FA Cup, we have to go to Spurs. So hopefully we can.
But your record's not great against Spurs, isn't it?
No,
they're kind of like a bogey, aren't they? Yeah.
It's awful.
But,
it's
awful. I was just looking at it. Like City have, I think, near the end of the season, have a fairly good run-in of games as well. But I was just looking at kind of a few of the key ones. They have to play Arsenal, but again, like that's at the Emirates, or at Etihad. But like it is again, it's going to be.
Arsenal and Villa one after the other at the end, which will tell a lot.
Look, it's a long way to go,
Oh,
it's very early days.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was the first question, Arsenal Liverpool. So second question, and then we'll go on. Howard, you were saying that Arsenal players have 3 days off. What do you think players get up to on their days off?
I don't know.
Quick one. Top of your head, what do you think they get up to?
I'd say they just chill out, go
FIFA.
to. Cool. Well, I'd say Fortnite or whatever that thing. I know Mesut Ozil used to be fucking mad at the old Fortnite.
When they're playing FIFA, is Pro Evo even a thing anymore?
No, I think it's more FIFA.
Is
FIFA
now.
It's dead. It's not even called Pro Evo anymore. Some other fucking. No, I think so. They call it something. It's dead. Yeah, it's gone. Yeah.
So do you think like they play FIFA and they play their own team and they try and play as themselves?
I'd say so. Yeah, I said they do. Yeah,
there's a lot of them into it. There's a lot of them into it. Yeah. A lot of the younger players. I see Saka. Seen a few of them Arsenal players before. Things on YouTube and stuff, videos around their ultimate team and stuff in FIFA. So that's what I imagine they're doing.
They're all different. I wouldn't know what to get up to.
They're fucking. They have their mini bar at home.
But they were in Dubai, like they were in Dubai, and Saka. They were in Dubai there, and Saka was like chilling out on a boat, like there was a photo taken of him on the boat, like, and then there was fucking fans giving out. I was like, what is he doing, relaxing? It needs to be on the train. I was like, come on, like Jesus Christ, people need to relax.
One lad looks like a man that likes a stiff whiskey.
Exactly.
Right, so we'll move on. Another lad who has definitely looked relaxed on Friday. Was it Friday night Brentford? And
it was Saturday.
Saturday.
So look, I mean, there's only one kind of thing I want to focus on. Brentford won 3-2. Obviously, it was a very good game with some very good goals. But Ivan Toney's return, being made captain for his return. Scoring a free kick that had a lot of controversy surrounding it. I thought it was very funny, and kind of I was watching the free kick again this morning, and it's very clearly, if you look, he moved the ball quite a good bit to the right, in that the goalkeeper and the wall were definitely, taken out of the picture by the movement.
He moved the foam
ball.
As well.
He moved the foam. That was the best part of it, I thought. All bets are off.
The foam as well, yeah. I mean, first of all, like, should he have been called up on that? Can VAR? I don't think VAR can intervene for that specific situation. But
what do you call the ref on Sky? Colin, that you go to It's
Mike Dean.
Gallagher. Oh, Mike Dean.
Is it Gallagher? I think. No.
Well, there's two. So Mike Dean
No,
is
it's
actually
not
the commentator.
Yeah,
Dermot Gallagher is the one. Yeah,
Dermot
ref
Gallagher.
watch.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that's cringe at the best of times. And I'm not sure if Dermot Gallagher. I think the odd time he might, majority of times he's so pro refs. But I was listening to him. The thing with call it Neil Warnock. Or not Neil Warnock, Stephen Warnock. But the whole thing is just I find it really cringe. But it always pops up on my YouTube. So they had the thing for the Tony one. So he was basically saying like that VAR couldn't intervene if it was the penalty and he moved the ball. VAR could intervene, but because it was outside and it was a free or something, he basically was saying anyway that VAR couldn't do anything about it. And he was kind of saying that like the ref. I'm surprised at the fucking wall. Like surely somebody there
sure,
can see what he's at.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, yeah, I think they did see. I think like he moved it over, right, and then Turner, the goalkeeper for Nottingham Forest, he went over and actually told him, "Yeah, go back over further." And then he moved the ball further over to the right, and then the guy on the side of the wall was like, "Fucking like."
Yeah, but Steve Warnock said that he that the goalkeeper before, like once he gives it, he has the final kind of say, and then he should have went over and checked it once more.
Yeah, he should have. Yeah. It's brutal like that. Like that's Sunday league stuff. Like that stuff. Like when you're playing and you're younger and you can actually you're behind the ball, you can actually see a gap. Like you can see the gap. Like and it's like
everyone can see it.
It's very easy. Like you know what I mean. Like
and I suppose the way that the ball went in, it was he curled it around the wall. So I mean, for a fact, had the ball stayed in its original position, that ball would have hit the last person in the wall, surely.
Yeah, 100%.
So I mean, the fact that it's Ivan Toney being left out of the game for 8 months for cheating comes back and cheats. You know what I mean? It's just
you gotta love it.
Yeah, I know they were trying to kind of that they're there's too much to be made of it, and like look, it was opportunist behavior. But given all that has followed him, and even some of his rhetoric, I think I mentioned in the group as well. Kind of found some of his stuff that he's been saying a bit kind of like I don't know, like to say maybe he's not remorseful, probably maybe he's a bit strong, but I just found some of his kind of comments. There's a bit of kind of victim in him, and a bit kind of even then he came out and made that comment then about go to a bigger club, like he's had Brentford. I thought there's a few like comments he's made recently. He's changed my opinion on him slightly. Outside of his fucking free kick thing at the weekend, I just whatever it is, I just kind of feel. Yeah, that he's kind of gone down a spot in my estimations or something with some of the kind of comments that he's making, But look, he's a big player for Brentford. Need him, like that was a massive result for them. You look at the table, that was a 6-pointer, like and it was they really need him back. But if he starts chipping, he is, and if he starts chipping in, Howard, like there's still time left in the window. He came out and said he wants to move to a bigger club. I thought there was no chance he'd move before the end of January, but you're looking at it going. There's a couple of clubs there that need a striker. But it's the money, I suppose. Who has the money in January,
Yeah. And like I must say, what I was impressed with him, because keeping an eye on him there, you're watching him a bit more when you're thinking that Arsenal might be interested in him. And I just thought like his link up play and even his through balls and stuff, it's quite like for a big guy, like he's quite technically good, like you know what I mean? His passing and his through balls I thought were impressive, like, and he got man of the match 8 months out, and he'll be a great player I think for the next 2 seasons. We'll see what happens with him after that, but I don't know if he'll go in January now. I don't think there's any money out there to buy him.
I just thought it was after his goal, he's kind of started looking at the crowd, pointing at his shirt, pointing at the ground, and I just laughed because the sponsor on his shirt is American Bets. They're the sponsor of Brentford. A lot of kind of irony in his goal and the celebration and everything. But also, just another thing I wanted to bring up about that specific game, Howard. When did we do the most disliked players?
Last week.
Last week.
My main man, Neil Mopey.
Yeah, your main man, Howard.
Your main man
ended up scoring probably the goal of the weekend.
You fueled him, Howard.
Anything I touch turns to fucking shite. Pretty much, like.
It was a fantastic goal.
Brilliant, yeah. Like, look, I still think he's just, he's a.
He's a what?
He's a shocking player, I think, in general.
Do you reckon somebody, handed him an iPad there before the game and just clipped her a little bit?
Clipped it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Neil, listen to what this Irish lad is saying about you.
Fairness, dog. Great goal.
It was.
He's a spoofer, though. He's a spoofer.
I think your exact words weren't they? Something on the lines of he's not there to score goals, he's just there to annoy people or something.
Yeah, he's shithousery, like he's just the way he does, like, and
Howard was adamant, like he's not a footballer.
He's
not
not.
You're adamant. He's not a footballer. He's just there to annoy people.
If you look at him overall, though, he's a shocking player.
I know, yeah. His record speaks for itself. Yeah.
And then finally, over the weekend, Sheffield United 2, West Ham 2. Very entertaining game, but again, not without its controversy. Dan, I know you said basically that West Ham were pretty much road.
Well,
I looked over the highlights, they were 100%.
Another man that needs a stiff whiskey, I'd say, or plenty of them would be Ronan Fagan, I'd say, after watching that game. And usually I'd be the first to message him and kind of give him a bit of welly, and I couldn't even do it to him because I was like, this man, I'd say, is in a dark place after that, because it was it was a game where West Ham, I felt, were a better side and should have won it. And they had, before it went 2-2, I think Ings had a chance. They had a couple of chances. They had a couple of chances, I think, for 2-0 as well. But Sheffield United just dug in there. It was one of them games. It wasn't easy on the eye, but
no.
My God, the last couple of minutes was just chaos.
I know.
Absolute chaos.
So the Sheffield United penalty, I don't think should have been a penalty.
Yeah.
You know,
I watched it a few times. I didn't know. Like, first time I saw it, I thought maybe it was a push in the back by the defender, into the goalkeeper. But then I looked at it again, and he actually doesn't push him at all. Like, he just stands the ground and jumps with him. And then I'm thinking maybe Areola comes out and decks him. But I didn't really see a proper angle.
Kind of a bit of both. It was kind of like he didn't deck him, but it was clumsy. It wasn't like Onana where he nearly fucking Superman punched your man out
took his head off. Yeah.
But I still think that there was enough in it for it to be a penalty. He didn't absolutely poleaxe your man. Was it Bernie? I think was it? Was it McBurney?
McBurney, yeah.
But like I suppose once the ref is given it, it's not going to be overturned. So I thought there was enough in it to say that it could be a penalty. Probably if he had a clatter him, we would have said it was definitely. But he kind of missed him. He kind of barged into him as opposed to like fist first, take his head off kind of a thing. Yeah, and like that, look, it was fucking really messy from West Ham. They just their game management to see out the game there.
Yeah, very poor.
They had kind of a couple of chances, and Sheffield United were at that all game where they were lobbing balls and getting balls into the box and stuff. And it was a bit rash, I think, from the goalie. But I can understand what you're saying, Declan.
Well, we kind of knew it, didn't we, lads? Like last weekend, we were kind of predicting this. I can't remember what we predicted, but we weren't like, we were all saying like, West Ham don't do great against the kind of smaller teams. Sometimes they can bottle it or whatever you want to call it, but this is a game like bottom of the table. You got to be beating them. Like, what I mean? If you want to have aspirations again into Europe, like.
Yeah, but I suppose you have to argue, like, and again, should they have had a penalty at the end? Absolutely,
100%.
100%.
It didn't make sense.
No, that would have been like something that you'd see in the Six Nations in a couple of weeks. Like it was fucking, it was. How the ref is giving it? He's getting a free out. Like,
shocking. And how VAR hasn't looked at it either. Like it was. There was a time where I saw coming in. I thought maybe is Bowen holding on to him, but he wasn't at all. He wasn't touching him at all. He was trying to maybe push him off to get him off him, but like your man isn't even looking at the ball. Like so, the defender. So it was. Yeah, I thought that was a stone wall.
It was a stonewall penalty in my opinion. And again, VAR referees coming into the spotlight yet again, another weekend. Just a question on West Ham for Bowen, actually, just out of curiosity. Do you see him moving on at some stage?
What age is he now? I think he's 28. Is he 20? 27, 28?
How old is he? I'd say he's
I thought he was 26. Was he? We'll find out.
Fact check.
I think he's late 20s from memory.
I thought 26, 27. I'll look now.
Howard, where do you think he'll end up if he does?
Well, Dan was talking about him replacing Salah in the long run, but like he had a poor season last season. But he's talented, like he's not. That was just a blip. That was a blip rather than the other seasons being a fluke, like you know what I mean. And I think he could go there maybe to Liverpool, maybe
27.
27, yeah, okay, yeah. So he could go to Liverpool, like but he needs to make a move this summer if he's going to go. Like you're looking at that age there, 27, 28. Like there's not going to be many people interested in him in a year's time, like so.
He's already in double digits in the league, though. You know what I mean? I know he's playing kind of a different role as well. They played him through the middle. Kudus and Paqueta, like they're great players.
I actually couldn't see him going anywhere else apart from Liverpool, to be honest, or somewhere in
Chelsea.
Europe. Chelsea. I don't know though. Chelsea have plenty of wingers. I would say.
Ones, though.
But like, what
that
price?
Doesn't stop Chelsea though. They can have
a player,
but they'll.
West Ham have plenty of money now, like with the Rice deal. Like they're gonna want a lot of money for him. Like unless I don't know what his contract situation is, but like if you're Liverpool and you sell Salah for whatever 120 million or 30 million or whatever, like you're gonna have to spend 80 plus million on one.
But you know, so if you look at it, he'd start for Spurs. He'd start for Newcastle. He'd start for Chelsea, I think. Looking at the other clubs, maybe Villa as well. If you were looking at like he'd start for Villa as well. If you look at all the kind of maybe clubs around the European spot, United, Jesus, prime example. Fuck me.
Oh, United, yeah, United would be.
You know, like he'd be
get rid of Anthony and get him in.
Yeah, but even if they got Sancho and Greenwood like off the books, fuck me, like there's
actually a good one. Yeah, United would be a good one. Yeah, but like the question is how much. Like it's going to cost an arm and a leg. Like, and I think for his age profile, I don't know if many teams are going to splash out that lump of a fee for him. Like,
but he was only 27. I think it was December, so like he's only, he's not. Yeah. You'd say that he's
not over the hill like the rest of us.
yeah. No, I do. I am a big fan of him. I think the problem that they're going to have with West Ham is depending on how their season goes. Like Moyes obviously he came under it. They got done by a decision in the cup. There was no VAR, and they lost that game. Then the FA Cup. You know, some of the Moyes haters were starting to gather momentum. That result of the weekend hasn't helped them either. You know, but like you're looking at Paqueta, Bowen, Kudus, like they're kind of ones where you're kind of, like the big clubs. I think all three of them, the top clubs would be looking at. I think Kudus has been exceptional as well since he's gone there. So as you said, Howard, big money though. Like
I don't know, are they changing their way though? West Ham, like they've got a new lad in, sporting director or whatever. Like I don't know if I think we're maybe giving them not enough respect. Like because like they could want to try and build a good team rather than just get good players in and sell them on. Like they have Paqueta.
I've always thought that as well. I don't think Moyes gets near enough kind of respect. We've talked about this before. And I do agree, actually. They have brought in some very good players, haven't sold their best player. And I think the club, whatever about the owners, I know Ronan especially doesn't like the owners and a lot of fans don't either, but Moyes has done an excellent job with West Ham. And I suppose, do you back them to try and build further, or are they
I think Paqueta
be a selling club, like,
Yeah, that's the thing, Howard. You're right, yeah, because if you think about it, Paqueta is probably you could say, argue after Rice, their second or third best player. They were selling him until like he was going. They were selling him in the city. So like you'd imagine like, they are still in that kind of zone of the best players. It's
but they're not going to let Bowen, Kudos, and fucking and Paqueta go like in the one window in the summer. Like, you know what I mean? There might be one of them might go, like, you know.
Right.
So whoever that is, who knows?
We'll see. Right. So the next segment we're going to chat about this week is discontent in the Saudi Arabia Pro League. So I suppose we've all seen Jordan Henderson leaving the Saudi league to go to Ajax. There's talk of Benzema missing training. There's talk of Aymeric Laporte wanting out. There's talk of Firmino as well. Kind of, I suppose, do you think they want out? Take Henderson, for example. Like, I suppose he's our best kind of example. Why did it not work out for him, do you think? Have you read anything or heard anything as to why he came back, he went to Ajax?
Yeah, I'd say it's a cultural shock and the shock of playing in the standard of league that they're playing in, like, you know what I mean? I think, look, there's a whole facade over there. Like, he's after leaving now for Ajax, but like, they've given him an out, like the Saudis, and like he's had to say like, nice things about everything and that they looked after him so well, and still bigging him up, so I think he still had to say that. But I think if he went down to it and asked him in person, I'd say he thought like he couldn't as a professional couldn't play and deal with that kind of style of football and that kind of environment. So like, you hear Cristiano Ronaldo coming out saying that he thinks that Saudi league is better than Ligue 1, like in France, like better than the French league. Like, it's all just publicity and paper talk, like for the general public. So I think,
but like it looks so bad though for the league, like all these players. Well, no, not all these. In fairness, like there have been 3 or 4 so far, but because they're bigger names, I suppose it does kind of put a spotlight on the league. And all it would take are 2 or 3 more to kind of try and force a move. Like Henderson did force that move to Ajax, and if 2 or 3 other players were to do the same, well, then you could start kind of seeing a bit of a revolt in the league, you know?
Yeah, it's a good analysis on like money, like, you know, in general, like people wanting money before thinking further about anything else. Like, you know, like like you have like your Benzemas and all that. Like these guys had so much money anyway. But now they're looking at, geez, I can see off the rest of my career in Saudi Arabia, but when it actually comes to it, like the reality is so much different than actually what it is, you know. So I think they're starting to figure that out now, and like it could go the way of China, as you mentioned, Deck, before, and it could end up like all these players, you know, going back to Europe or whoever, like, you know.
Yeah. Dan, any ideas? What do you think?
A few things, I suppose. I think simply money doesn't buy you happiness. I think that's for Henderson and a few of the others that you mentioned there, Deck. Like there's a lot of things. I think the most interesting thing I've read so far though was Laporte's interview. I don't know if you kind of got the. So Laporte was interviewed around like what's going on over there, and you know he was kind of saying like that. Obviously, financially, it's a big thing for them. But he also was mentioned about things like broken promises. It was one of his quotes. And he was on about how like it takes him. I can't remember which club he's at now. Is he Al Nassr? I can't remember. I can't remember.
It is Al Nassr.
Yeah. But he it's taken him like 3 hours in traffic to get to training. And like this kind of stuff. So like he's traveling, say 3 hours to get to train, whatever like that. You've got the climate. Henderson one is a bit unique as opposed to the rest of them. I think now one thing you can see with a lot of players that are coming out, they're serial winners. The ones that have come out. If you look at some of the ones there, like that are
that's true,
out, Benzema, Henderson, Laporte, like they've won an awful lot of trophies. They've been around the game a long time. One of the Laporte's interesting comments was that he said that that the level of care that you get over here isn't like
that's right,
yeah, which was an interesting one. He was kind of talking about adapting to the culture. Like obviously Laporte would have went to England, to the UK, to Manchester. You know, he came from Spain, I think, wasn't he? He was in Spain. Like he was on about like saying
Bilbao,
yeah, so he was on about in Europe, like how, you know, you move in the culture and you're kind of well looked after, and that he was saying about the level of care and then I think the traffic and the driving a couple hours to train. So I don't know whether or not, like when he talks about broken promises, was there certain things that the Saudis had said that they were going to give and made kind of things that they were going to help them with, and then they just didn't bother once they signed on the dotted line, or what's the story? But like, there's no doubt that a few of them are now starting to, but there's also, as you said there, Ronaldo. Mane also came out and said it's brilliant and it's this and
that's
that.
Right.
Like, there's a few others that are starting to come out on the other side. It kind of reminds you of the golf thing, the live golf thing between and the live golf. It's like you have two sides here now. It's like the ones that want to stay, they're pro staying, and the ones that are like want to leave. But I think when you look at it, like Henderson one, there's a lot more. And I think as well, given the fact that he really wants to go to the Euros, and I think he probably has been given indications. I would imagine there's something maybe well that might necessarily be the case. So he's had to look at getting himself a move. Obviously, these players as well, like they're serial winners, but also Henderson has played at Anfield. Fucking Benzema is over playing in Madrid. So they're you know what I mean? Like they're playing for the biggest clubs in the world, and then suddenly you're going and playing in front of fucking. You're like going down to watch that low in town on a good day, like, you know what I mean? It's in like there's a, but you know what I mean? It's in I'm talking about the crowds and the kind of
the atmosphere and everything,
and everything. Like they're going from one extreme to the other, and then you take into account the climate. Henderson's one definitely was family was given, and like when you look at it, of all the players that have gone, and probably I think we'll look back at this in a couple of years. For me, the Henderson one is actually it's probably how to go and fuck up your career in 6 months. If you look at Liverpool this season, he would have got a lot of game time. Fair enough, he might have been a regular starter, but we've had a lot of injuries, and we're also in the title race. Now, fair enough, Henderson probably looked at it and going, right, midfield, it's going to take time. Liverpool, he probably was looking at Liverpool's chances of challenging for the title and stuff next season. Again, we know what it really boiled down for Henderson was the financial package he was being offered, which now it looks like he's not taking due to the amount of tax he'll have to take. He's actually not taking a penny, is what's been reported anyway. He's not taking a penny of it. But like, what a mess. He's pissed off so many people in England. He mightn't necessarily now even get to the Euros. He had to stay in Liverpool, and even if he was a squad player, he'd still be in the Euro squad, no doubt. He's Liverpool captain, like. So he's really talk about sabotaging your own career. Like, I don't know who his advisors or who's around him, but like for me, that one is the one I think we look back on in a couple of years and be like, wow, what a way to sabotage and mess up
absolutely
a remainder of your career. Like he's gone to Ajax now. Fair enough, Ajax are a renowned big club in the sense of big reputation, but like, you know what I mean? They're not going to be pulling up any trees. They were near the bottom of the league there for a while this season, couldn't win a game. So like, he's gone there. Will he go to the Euros? I probably look at Southgate's thing. With players that he likes, he probably still has a chance of going. But like, for me, it's the league itself is, as you said there, Howard. The China thing is it's kind of on the horizon. But you wonder, there has to be enough players out there that will go for money. That's what the other side of it. It's like there has to be, for the ones that are kind of coming in high reputation and they're fucking off and saying, no, I want out. There'll be other ones that will happily stay,
And that's why the Henderson one was such a strange one to happen, because people were like, oh, you'd think he'd be a man with more deeper morals than a financial
100%.
package, you know what I mean? So that was why, and then his reputation, then, is he trying to salvage it up to a point by leaving this early? But you made a good point about the tax thing. Like I thought that was mad. So that he actually can't get, he won't, because they moved.
After 2 years.
They're 2 years, so he actually won't get tax. They give him the money after 2 years because otherwise they'll actually get taxed on their salary, which is a mad one. But no, from what I heard is that him and Gerrard actually don't live in Saudi Arabia; they live in Bahrain.
Yes, right. An hour drive. Yeah,
it's an hour drive around it, which is another weird kind of idea, the whole thing. And just to touch on Gerrard himself, like that whole fiasco is comical as well. His extension, he guys signed an extra 2 years onto his deal, and like they're having won a game in 12 games or whatever. 2 months, and like he's had an interview saying like, oh, we deserve all of it because of the great work we've been putting in and grinding and all that kind of crap. And it's just like, where is he coming out with this from? Like, you know what I mean? It's just comical stuff.
It is comical. Like how do they justify someone who hasn't won in 12 games?
The thing, though. They don't. They can't justify it, and they don't need to justify it.
That's a marketing thing. It's a marketing.
Yeah, we've referred to that league as the circus for the last few months, and it is a circus because nothing in it makes sense, and none of the players none of them are going for sporting reasons. As you've seen, a few players already want out. But you made a brilliant point, Dan, and he kind of kept brought back to a very basic level. Benzema playing at the Bernabeu, Laporte playing with City, Henderson playing at Anfield.
And don't think he said Laporte. I didn't. He mentioned
Laporte.
No.
Laporte. No, I know when Laporte went, I actually said I'd take him at Liverpool.
No, I wind the deck up about the atmosphere in the Etihad.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Of course, yes, Howard. Sorry, of course, you're dead right. Yeah.
Look. No, but I'm trying to make a genuine point here, and Howard, you're ruining it for me. But like, what do you call it? They're going from kind of playing alongside world-class players to going over there and playing alongside, like, no disrespect to them, but amateurs.
You think about it, Benzema was playing with Vinicius Jr., one of the best talents in world football. You know what I mean? Like, in the supply he was getting, he had Modric. Imagine he's probably sitting there going, "Fuck me, I could be playing with Bellingham this year, one of the best players in the world." You know what I mean? And he's here over, as you said there. That was interesting when you were. Do you ever remember when Benzema made the move?
From Leon,
from Madrid. When he moved to Saudi, his title, the thing that was the caption I remember on social media was, "I'm a Muslim and I'm moving to a Muslim country." Game Glow or something. It was all about kind of. It was a religious kind of thing attached to it for him.
Cultural,
I'm really sure, cultural kind of thing, but he's fairly fucking backtracked at that now. He's like, mad to get back to Europe. Like, and the key thing is, he was still at the peak of his powers last season when
he got better as he aged.
His stylistically though, he needs motivation. Like, the kind of player he is. Like, he'll go, he's like in a kind of Ibrahimovic style kind of, will kind of run around, but not like he's more about the touch and the finishing and all that kind of stuff. Like, if he doesn't get the service, like, and he gets fed up, like, he'd be a player that just will be useless. Like, you know what I mean? He needs that support, and he needs to have that drive, I'd say, to even be a player. Like, be a decent player. I don't think he doesn't suit his personality. That kind of that league. Like, you know what I mean?
One other interesting thing I read now and again, it was sourced, but I don't know how accurate it is. But it was that the lesser players inside, I don't know if you following that now about other players that are playing, is that if they get injured or they're not able to play, they don't pay them, and they're like
really
like like they're just, if you're not like at the top end of it, there's a lot of like poor kind of condition, like I think is it FIFA Pro? It's FIFA Pro, the main body that there's already loads of lads have like brought cases to FIFA Pro around like unpaid wages, and Saudis basically just they're binding contracts, but because they're injured and not able to play, they're just not paying them.
It's weird.
So basically, pay as you play contracts.
Even though that's not what they signed up for. That's kind of it's like look at Neymar there. Like you wonder, like Neymar's actually going as well. We haven't mentioned Neymar. It's gas because he went there and then done his was the ACL, I think he done, was it?
Yeah. ACL, meniscus, everything.
And there was ever a man that just belongs out in fucking the circus. It's him.
Absolutely, 100%.
The main act.
The main act.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
See, I'd say Ronaldo lasted that long because he was the god over there. You know what I mean? I'd say if he went now, like, and he was only a little bit part player, like he'd be gone as well. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you see, you look at the age bracket, right? So Ronaldo's gone over there. He's what, 37, 38, yeah?
38, yeah.
Yeah, so you look at some of the other ones then that are kind of coming out now and talking about not being happy there. Like Laporte is probably what, is he 30, 31?
Yeah, he's 30.
Laporte's a good age, yeah.
Yeah, like he's not, I mean, even Henderson is what, 33. So like, you could kind of say like they could probably get a spin around Europe by a decent club for another couple of years and nearly hit Saudi at like 37. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, come at the very twilight.
Definitely.
Yeah, you know, and still probably get a fucking whack of money, like it's mad.
Yeah. All right. We'll see. I suppose with the Premier League and the whole profit and sustainability thing coming in, a lot of teams are having to sell before they buy. So I'm just wondering, could the league take advantage of that?
Yeah, just on that deck, I just saw there over 800 million was spent this time last year in the January transfer window, and only 35 million is spent.
Yeah,
this go around.
There you go. Where'd you hear that, Howard? Today
that's just on the feed there today.
There you go. Like that just shows how, like, the Premier League, right? We criticize them for lots of different rules and stuff like that, but they do seem to have kind of made a proper clamp down on this whole profit and sustainability thing. And I suppose, look, if you're a City fan, which I am, like, there is a little bit of concern there as to what may happen with the 115 charges. You've seen Everton and Nottingham Forest now as well, possibly going to be punished. So I mean,
Newcastle as well. I don't know if you've seen the Newcastle news, like, you know, like they're trying to sell Trippier for 12 million to Bayern to get some money, and Almiron. Do you hear Almiron could be going to the circus?
Saudi, yeah.
So they obviously, like, I think he's a very good player.
He's a solid player. Solid, yeah.
Absolutely.
So that would be, now how much to get for him would be questionable. But
Gary Neville questioned this as well. Like, have the Premier League with their regulations, did they go too far in trying to kind of tighten up on club spend? And I get, like, the morality of it, trying to kind of make sure that clubs spend within their limits and not make them go into administration, but you're also curtailing them and spending and basically trying to build and expand, and what Newcastle were trying to do, but now obviously they've been brought back down to earth. So I mean, there's so many different ways you can look at it.
The way I look at it is, if you have state-owned like countries owning clubs, like, you need to have some sort of caps on things, because otherwise it'll just be like a country that basically, you know, it'll just be
money.
Unlimited money, So now the other side of the thing is how, like, is it fair that your revenue and how much you make as a team filters into that? Like, why can't Newcastle become spend the same amount as Arsenal? If we're all spending, you know, a certain amount and there's a cap on it, maybe there's an argument there to say maybe they should be allowed, the lower teams should be allowed a bit more wiggle room. I don't know.
Yeah, no, we'll see. Okay. So we'll move on to next weekend. So the weekend predictions competition again. So we had a few predictions over the weekend. We had one in particular. Glenn got 5-0 Arsenal versus Palace, and Dan texted me saying, "Here we go. It's going to be the one."
What else did he have?
No, that was it. He only had the 5-0.
I think he had 2-1 West Ham, and he had 2-1 Liverpool, I think.
Oh, God.
What it was.
2-2 nearly. So nearly
it wasn't a million miles away. Like, it was, it was closer than other ones. But yeah. So this week we're going to go with three. It's an FA Cup weekend, so we're going with three FA Cup games. So the first one, Everton and Luton, Fulham and Newcastle, and then Newport and Man United to top it all off. So Dan, apologies, and the winner, if you were able to predict 3 correct scores, you will win 2 match tickets to a Premier League team of your choice. Lads, you're both laughing. What are you
I
laughing
just
at?
think, like, I thought we were going to try and make it easier. It's like fucking Newport and United.
No.
Howard, he's sitting there and he's there and he gives him the big one, and we know that he picks the most difficult games he can.
He's
sits
just a
there.
cowboy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll give you one. So, as it's the FA Cup weekend, feck it, I will go on. As it's the FA Cup weekend, predict 2 games. Predict 2 scores, 1 weekend only, because it's the FA Cup weekend.
The magic of the cup.
Predict the magic of the fucking cup, absolutely. So predict 2 scores out of the 3 of those games, and you will win 2 match tickets to a Premier League team of your choice. So,
what are the 2 games though, like? Are you keeping the
2 of the
Newport
3.
one in there?
2 of the 3, is it?
2 of the 3.
2 of the 3.
So
Okay.
send in your predictions, and if you get 2 of them right, you'll be going off to a Premier League team of your choice.
That's actually...
Yeah. 1 weekend only. Magic of the cup. Howard, you said it. So, Dan, Everton and Luton.
I'll go 2-0 Everton.
2-0 Everton. Okay. Howard, Everton and Luton.
I'm going to go 1-0 Everton. God, I feel like I'm getting like... I feel like this...
You know that?
Yeah, I feel like I have to really think about this now.
It's fucking got serious now. Shit's got real.
I'm instantly fucking regretting this. My
Howard,
wife's going to kill me.
Howard, after this podcast is finished, we're both going to go through our phones. We're going to WhatsApp everybody we know.
Send it to everyone. Okay, Fulham and Newcastle. Dan.
Newcastle's all they've got left to play for, isn't it? So I'll go for 2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle. And chances are Fulham will be playing their full team on Wednesday night. Do you have them?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right. Howard, Fulham and Newcastle.
Yeah, it's a good guess, 2-1. All right. I'm going to
Newcastle,
go...
it's all they've left to play for. Like, you'd mentioned
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking if Fulham will get a goal or not. Like, because it's the game after the... Like, is there much time between the Liverpool game and the Newcastle game?
But that's what we're playing Wednesday, so that's more likely. It's probably... I don't know, look here now, but it's probably going to be Sunday.
Yeah, I'll go 2-0 Newcastle.
2-0 Newcastle. Okay, now the big one. Newport and Man United. Dan, you're looking that up. So Howard, what do you think? Newport and Man United.
I'll go 2-0 United.
I'll go 3-0 Deck.
2-0 United. 3-0. You're giving Newport no hope of not even getting a goal.
No. The Newcastle game is 7 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. 7 o'clock.
Oh, right. Yeah, but you know
what? Like, they're spread out. Like there's kind of, even on Sunday I'm looking, there's Liverpool are playing at 2:30, and then 4:30 then is the United game. Yeah, 4 is the United game.
Do you know what the joy of this is? Like, you could get the Newport one wrong and you could still win tickets.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 week only.
Newport aren't scoring against United, lads, surely.
You never know. They're at home. Why not? The chance, it's one of them cup games. They'll probably go up 1-0 after like 10 minutes, and United will come back and beat them 4-1.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. And it was just a reminder. So for 1 week only, all right, predict 2 correct scores of those 3 results, and you will be the winner of match tickets to a Premier League team of your choice.
So can I ask you a question?
Of course, you can.
What happens if, like, just by chance that like 4 or 5 people get this right?
Then I'm hopping on a plane, Dan. Hopping on a plane and getting the hell out of here, and I'll let you and Howard deal with it.
Leave us in the shit.
Oh, very good. Okay. Best of luck to everyone involved. So do get involved. Send in your predictions to the Instagram page or on Facebook, Football Fanatic Podcast. By FA Cup is on Friday night, but all those fixtures are Saturday, so 10 p.m. on Friday night. So we'll move on now to fantasy football. Dan, you're climbing the ladder again.
Yeah, small gains. My good friend Diego Jota, I put him in with Salah being out, and I stuck with Nunes, and eventually it's taken a while, but he has come up trumps there. So I had an okay weekend. Yeah, it was decent enough. Liverpool saved me basically. And And as for the differentials, our leader here is Connor Jordan. Again, he's been knocking around there for a while and around the.
Very good.
But the differential here being that he had Gabriel, which not many people have. I was looking through it, like nearly. I know Howard, you Gabriel as well.
Yeah.
Didn't you? Nearly everybody else kind of further up the table as like Saliba. So like I was looking at going, that was a fair swing. Gabriel managed 17 points, which is like a big swing for a defender that nobody else basically really had. Not many had it anyway. So himself and who's the other one? Sorry now. Oh yeah, Mark Hallinan haven't shot a clue. He had Gabriel as well, so he shot up the table. He's now second as well. So it was a big week for Connor Jordan. Though he got 84 points, I think, which was which was the colossal, because it wasn't like a.
Oh, he'd Palmer captain or something.
Yeah, he got a healer. I'll read out here. Like it's gas. He had Nunes, right? He got 11. He Palmer as his captain, but he also had Bernardo Silva, who got a goal. He had Richarlison, I think, who got a goal, and a bonus. And then his like defense was Porro and Walker both kept clean sheets, and then he Gabriel 17 points. Like, it was a really monstrous weekend. That so he's a small bit of a lead there now. Like. Not like a massive lead, but it was really tight. There's only a couple of points in it, and he's after that Gabriel one is that, and that's kind of what you need. Like even my Jota one, not many people have Jota. Howard, you went for Diaz.
Yeah, second. I should have went for Jota in the end. Oh, what was the starting three? Was it Jota, Nunes, and Diaz?
Yeah, what he did was he played Jota through the middle, kind of false nine, and then he played Diaz from the right actually, and he played Nunes from the left. Now in fairness, they do kind of tend to alternate the three there. Diaz then moved over to the left for a little bit. Yeah. Nunes went through the middle then, and Jota was from the right. Like they're very fluid, the front three. But look, it's going to be interesting because like Haaland still, I think the talk now is he's not back till February. Is that right?
I had heard the first week in February, so we'll see.
So he's going to miss. Will he miss another? He missed then. Who are you playing in the midweek?
Who do we have? Burnley next Wednesday.
So he's going to miss that more likely, is he? Yeah, so like a lot of people are probably, I'd say, raging because it looked like after the Club World Championship that he'd be back. So a lot of people have left him in, and he just hasn't been back in the team. He is training though, I think, is he?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. There's photos of him going up saying, "Oh, he's back" and everything, and then he's not.
There's photos of him winning awards, all these types of awards. Like literally every week, there's a new award. He's holding his golden ball or this kind of trophy and something that's. Weird. I don't know what the awards are like, but he's out in Saudi Arabia as well, kind of accepting. So.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the fantasy football, and it said few people used their wild cards this week. Yeah.
I thought people would wait until Salah and Son and all that came back. Like it seems a bit daft using it before that. Like unless you put them on the bench.
A few people used it at the start of January as well, and I think like there was a couple, I think, in our group that used their wild card this. Paul Breslin there, he used his wild card. There was a couple that used it this week. So yeah, it's hard to know. Like I suppose you could argue, wait until the lads are back, or
and the City have a double game week coming up then in a few weeks' time.
That's
so that'll
right.
City do. They have a double game week, so you imagine triple captain could be played there if Haaland is back amongst it. But yeah, look again, it's still tight enough there. Like Jordan's on.
From 1 to 10, Dan, what's the point difference?
And so there's about 70, is there? 70?
Okay.
In around that, yeah. It's not insurmountable there anyway. And Howard, you're let me just scroll down your Howard.
A decent enough week, I'm 15th, I think. So.
Man,
Howard, 17, 16, 15 next week, be back in
14th. Howard, you actually, like, Gabriel was obviously a big one there, but you put Palmer in?
Had Palmer in, yeah. I got Palmer in, and I'd I had a few, I'd Porro and all that kind of thing. Yeah, I made a couple of subs, but I'm kind of waiting to play my wild card for a long time now, but I'm holding fort until Son and Salah come back. I'm gonna try and get that, that perfect team with like Haaland and Salah and all these boys in it.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
It's
so hard. It's so hard to try and fit them all in. Yeah.
Of course. So again, the winner of this eventually in May, they will win a club jersey of their choice. Right, so we're going to Monksland Utd. So the 8 team were in action, the cup action against Columkill Celtic. They won 4-1, so they're into the next round of the Counties Cup. The B team, unfortunately, the game was called off due to a waterlogged pitch. So I mean, that's true to form.
Oh no! What day was
The
that? Saturday or Sunday? Like that wasn't the
I think that
storm, was it?
No, I think it was on Sunday. The A team were on Saturday. Maybe I could be wrong about that, but yeah, B team
gone again. Jesus,
it's not happening.
Match practice. Match practice is
Are they doing their last man stand? I meant to ask you that actually in the group in our WhatsApp.
I thought they were, but I haven't heard anything on it. I think they should. If they aren't, they definitely consider because it went well for them. Yeah. Fixtures for next weekend: so Monksland Utd versus Abbey Leaks in the league at 2:00 on Sunday in Cushla, and the B team are in the Paddy Cotter Cup round 1 against St. Cartridge's out in Bora. You know about that Bora area?
Yeah.
So again, that's on Sunday at 11. So chances are it won't go ahead, but we'll see.
There's going to be some picture pile up. They're playing like every day in it for like a month.
Stop, it's crazy. But yeah, that's Monksland United. So I was actually looking at the table. They're back on top. They're on top, but again, they've played like 2 or 3 more than the teams below them. So I mean, that'll change fairly quickly. It's yeah, that kind of wraps us up for the weekend, man. I was just actually thinking on the Saudi Arabia topic. What's it called? The Spanish Cup is held in Saudi Arabia. It was held this year, and also the equivalent in Italy, the Italian Super Cup, whatever you want to call it. For the last 4 years, that has been held in Saudi Arabia as well. It's weird, like this kind of it is weird, and like you've heard of, it hasn't happened in England yet, but I mean you've heard of like the Carabao Cup final. I read reports of, supposedly wanting to bring that outside of England. Where you'd go, I don't know, but it just kind of seems to be.
But you'd think like you're like in Saudi Arabia's shoes, you'd be like, well, we have our own league now. It's just as good as the French league apparently. So why are we needing to get other bloody competitions in from other countries? Like this, that's the way they should be thinking. You would say.
Of course.
But when you look at it, like I don't know, you're following there in the snooker. Did you see that there's the Saudi tournament starting in the snooker, and it's going to have a golden ball at the end. So once you've potted all of your balls, there's a ball at the end. I think worth like 20 points or something. So like it's the 167 as opposed to 147, which is the maximum break you can get in a snooker game. So they're finally tapping in now to the snooker market.
They're changing the whole rules.
Yeah, reinventing the wheel completely.
Yeah, and look, you look at the boxing, like the big fights in boxing, like they're all there's any amount of them now. Like
they're all over Riyadh, yeah.
They're not been happening in the UK now at all. It's all gone to nearly so you could say that it's nearly bought that sport now at this age. Absolutely. And like where is it going to stop? I seen that about the Spanish one. I thought that was mental.
Yeah, I know. It's just odd. Like obviously the money behind it, they must be getting for like Del Piero, Christian Vieri, number of kind of Italian greats were out there promoting it, and they were all talking about how kind of great this country is and the league is going to be so big in years to come. And
what did they do?
We know what's behind it. Like, sorry, say that again.
What did they do though? The Saudis, they were in the stadium. They went and they booed a minute silence to one of the best fucking players ever played a game in Beckenbauer at that
really?
Spanish Cup. Yeah, they booed the minute silence for him. Yeah, over there. So,
as we said, it's a circus. Anything goes. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Right, that will do it for this week, man. Cheers for your input. Have a good week. Anything else sad before we finish up?
Nothing on my side. Deck.
No, nothing. No, you two, Deck. Yeah.
Dan, enjoy the magic of the cup.
Magic of the cup. Enjoy, Dan. Enjoy the other Carabao Cup. Hopefully, you get into a final. If you don't, good luck. We're gonna laugh you out of the building completely.
I think you'd all be in agreement with me though that it would be good crack if Middlesbrough go to Stamford Bridge and knock them out, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think we can all. Yeah, Middlesbrough.
I'd enjoy.
Would be great.
Yeah, but hold on. Middlesbrough 1-0 up. I mean, Fulham are 2-1 down. If Fulham come back and beat you, I'm going to laugh even harder.
Is it 2-1? Yeah. Is it? Oh yeah, but it's in Fulham, isn't it? Yeah, so it's in Craven Cottage.
Magic night at Craven Cottage under the lights. Anything can happen. All right, man. That'll do. Have a good week.
See you later, folks.
Cheers. Good luck.